Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome to the Gamestore Guardians. I'm Will.
I'm Mike, and we're back.
We are episode official one.
Yeah, number one.
Yes, officially number one. So yeah, we got some good response from our initial episode. So thank you for welcoming us into the community.
Yeah, you get to know us.
Yeah,
Now you know us.
yeah, and I have too much light on me, so I just look like a giant potato talking in a murder dungeon. But it's fine. Yeah. So what have you been up to, Mike, in the last week since we've talked?
I've been doing some painting. So I finished Super Giant,
Okay.
and I'm working on Black Dwarf.
Okay.
I'm just having a real hard time, though, choosing a color palette that I enjoy on it, because I don't necessarily love to paint exactly what the box shows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not trying to recreate it. So uh, he's gone through a couple different skin color changes, and
Um,
I haven't figured out exactly what color I want his like metallic pauldrons to be.
Okay.
So that's basically what I've been doing. I've been repainting a couple times this week. That's what I was doing.
So on the box art, what his skin is like a yellowish gold, right, or like yellowish green?
Yeah, mine's coming out to be a little bit more orange than that,
Okay.
which I enjoy. But it's just matching it with the pauldrons. I don't want them to be black. I don't want everything to be black. I know that they're like I want the colors to kind of blend across all of the Black Order, so at least
Yeah,
they look like they're a team.
like uniform. Yeah.
But I don't want them to just be all black,
Mm.
because I don't do black very well, and I feel like the black that I have, either I have like a dark gray, or I have a black that totally ruins the model, in my opinion. Like, it gets rid of all the detail.
Hmm.
It's just too dark, and I don't know what to do in that instance. So I just go with something else. So right now it's in this kind of like purplish bluish kind of tinge, which I think it might stay that way, and I just kind of like wash over some lead belcher to like make it look metallic-y. Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
if you really thin it out, you can kind of make it look like it's metal,
yeah.
any
Like
color.
I've been fine with black. Like I have Black Templar, which is the contrast, and then I have the Grim Black, which is the speed paint. And I know Citadel just came out with the new formulation, which I'm picking up that black this weekend.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I think I have Abaddon black, and it's just
okay,
super black. It's super dark, and it just like you look. It's hard to see the model. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all the
yeah,
little
yeah.
crevices and stuff just get lost.
Yeah, well, I with Blade when I just did my Blade, I didn't do any of the contrast black. I did like straight black because I wanted it to be dark. And I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
came out good. I think I did some contrast over his like chest plate armor, but and the zombie hands that are coming up from the base.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
super. That's fun.
yeah.
I like that too. That
But
model is fun.
yeah, it is. It was actually really really fun to paint. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't paint any characters this week. I primed all my spider foes with the
Okay, got them. Oh, you got everybody ready to go.
Yeah, everybody's primed. I'm probably gonna paint them at some point this weekend. But I wound up I wanted more terrain because we have nice terrain on the board, but I wanted new terrain.
Yeah, I
So
get it.
I painted a firehouse.
Nice.
So it's another size 5, but now I have a pizza shop sitting there ready to get painted too, which is another size 3. Because
Great.
we usually have what 1 5, like 1 or 2 4s, and then 3s and 2s, whatever. But I want to change the look of the block.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. I'm stoked. Yeah, I want to see it.
yeah, yeah. So probably by next Tuesday, I should have the pizza shop all done. But
Awesome. Yeah, that
and the
would be
spider
great.
hose.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for you to play Spider Fuzz, because I love Spider Fuzz. I think they're so much fun. So I wanted to see what you think when you get your hands on them.
yeah, yeah, they're definitely fun. I am definitely dreading painting up Carnage because the black
Yeah,
veins and whatever.
I feel like I tackled him very early on in my Marvel building and painting career. So
Hmm.
like, I knew it was daunting to begin with, but I was still like, I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll get it done. And it goes. It's definitely tedious, but it goes.
Yeah. Well, I already got his base coat down because I primed it in Dragon Red.
Yeah, yeah.
So this way I got the red pretty much down, and it's like a like shiny red. I am gonna fill in some of it with think I have the Army Painter Glistening Blood, so I'm gonna put some of that
Okay.
on there. I'm gonna blood up the base a little bit. So
Yeah, nice. I like that.
yeah, because he's just a terror.
Yeah, I
But
did that with my Drax. He's like just covered in blood.
nice, nice. And then yeah, so my spider phones are all primed, ready to go. So I got the whole gang. I already made a list for them. I just haven't had a chance to use them yet because I'm that guy that can't play with his models until they're painted.
I mean, we've talked about this. Me and
Yeah,
you are both the same. I don't want to bring my Black Order is built and ready and prime, but it's not fully painted, so I'm not playing it.
yeah.
And I'm hoping to get it done for this next week. I hope by next week I'll have it done.
Well, next week when we play, I'll probably bring my. I'm definitely. I always bring two teams, so I'm definitely going to bring my Guardians that I'm running right now in TTS,
Yep.
and probably Spider Foes if they're done. If not, I am working on like a weird X-Men list that I haven't had a chance to use yet. So it's going to
Okay.
be one of those two.
Yeah, I'm probably going to work on Black Order if I can get it on the table. At the very least, I'm going to throw that Kingpin Supergiant idea on the table. So we'll see how that goes out.
Yeah, Supergiant. I'm see in TTS coming up. I'm worried about Black Order because I have yet to actually. I think I've played against Black Order one time in my whole life,
Yeah.
and I was using A Force, and I just bullied Thanos and Corvus, and it wasn't a problem because Angela brought over She-Hulk, and they just Thanos the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like our local meta is very anti Thanos. Like, I don't know if anybody plays Thanos, so like we
Yeah.
really don't have like a Black Order player.
I think Rob is the one Black Order player because
Okay.
Jacob's first game was against Rob's Black Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I feel bad.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But yeah. So I had my round 4 GTS.
Oh yeah,
matchup.
how'd that go?
It went very well. It was Guardians versus Convocation, and I had never played into Convocation ever because
Right,
again, nobody at our store plays.
Yeah, I'm looking to get into it now just because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I have to get Strange, Clea, and Doctor Voodoo because that's why I just haven't even bothered. But
Yeah.
I have his lineup here. Hold me one second. So he was playing. Oh my god, I lost it. Oh no, here it was. Strange Supreme, Doctor Voodoo, Ancient One, who he had as his leader, Ebony Maw, and Wong. And then I was running Star Lord, Rocket, Groot, Bucky, Captain Marvel, and Juggernaut.
Interesting. So I know that Convocation plays a lot of like Convocation specific cards.
Yes.
And I'm not keen on it right now if it says that only Convocation like characters like was him running Ebony Maw, did that run counterintuitive to like the team tactics cards?
Yeah, like he couldn't take advantage of like really any of the team tactics cards he was using, and he
Right.
wasn't running the gems, so that was surprising because usually Space Maw is like where it's at.
Right.
But yeah, it was a very good match. We wound up playing on Kree and Intrusion, so it was either 19 or 20, and I lost priority. So I was like, oh, we're gonna play 20
Yeah.
because the choices were either 19 or 20. So it went to round 5. I won 13-10, but
Okay.
it came down to my entire squad, who I think the only people that I had flipped were Star Lord and Groot
Yeah.
versus his Doctor Voodoo.
Wow.
Yeah, like I nearly tabled him. Just,
Okay.
Yeah, Bucky was able to kind of snake around and hide your tactics, pick up the core from Ancient One. Rocket was just rolling hot fire. And
Okay.
so,
Yeah, that's always nice.
and so was Juggernaut and Captain Marvel. It was the energy attacks that really helped because
Yeah.
the Ironbound books really didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gets.
I think yeah, that is the way to play into Convocation is to try to play a lot of energy, it seems.
Yeah, and then when I did my couple of physical attacks I did have, Juggernaut was really just bullying Doctor Strange off a point every time we got close to it. And
Right.
then once Strange was taken care of, Juggernaut used the intrusion portal to hop to the other side of the board and throw a garbage truck at Ancient One. So, but
Did you find that intrusions was hard for Guardians? I know that you played a bunch of like out of faction stuff, but in my head it feels like that's not the game plan that Guardians wants to play necessarily.
it wasn't that it was hard because I went wide. So I was able
Yeah.
to kind of put 2, 2, and 2.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that it was hard at all, but like after a little while, for some reason my Star Lord on TTS absolutely loves the left side of the board, and in real
Okay.
life, my Star Lord just dies. Like when I play normally with like actual minis, dead. But in TTS, he's a rock star. He's just shooting everybody, and then he just zooms off somewhere else.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it felt weird not taking Gamora because usually Gamora is like a staple in my Guardians.
Yeah. I am surprised that you didn't play Gamora.
It came down to Gamora or Captain Marvel. I'm like, I need the energy attacks. I think she may have
Oh, that's
thrown one
cool.
punch the entire time, and the rest was just energy blast
Yeah.
and rocket punch. That was it.
Hmm.
But yeah. So I am now 3-1.
Awesome.
I'm still in contention for the cuts because basically, if you lose one game but you win all your other ones, you still pretty much are guaranteed to make it into cuts. So then
Okay.
it's like top 16 and all that stuff. So see what
That's
happens.
awesome, dude. That's so.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
man.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
first league I'm playing in, so it's fun.
Yeah, I wanted to play in it, and then I started up all the channel stuff, and then I was like, I don't want to choose one or the other, so I was like, let me get all this stuff settled, and then maybe in the future, next season, I'll play.
Hmm. Yeah, and the
We'll see.
season's usually pretty. Oh, like I think there's like a month and a half break between seasons usually.
Yeah,
But now the reason Juggernaut's in my list now because he wasn't originally it was A Force Guardians. Juggernaut is my anti Malekith tech,
right.
just in case he shows up.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. I want to see how he does.
Yeah, and I know I'm going to see him soon. Malekith is just going to be a terror.
Did anybody? I have a question for you. Did anybody bring in X Force?
We don't have all the stats yet. I don't think so,
Okay.
though. I don't think so, though. I hope so. I know a lot of people actually dropped Shadowland Daredevil,
Okay.
which was surprising. Like a couple
I
people.
wonder why. Maybe because of grunts. Maybe people are shying away from grunts. You know what's a good tech into grunts?
What?
Punisher.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the key to, like, if a lot of people are playing grunts or a lot of people are, because, like, there's going to be more grunts coming out, and with Hydra and stuff like
Mhm.
that, if that stuff gets popular, I think you're going to see Punisher more often.
Maybe. But I think people were dropping him just because he was like the super hyped character for this time.
Yeah.
But now people are realizing, yeah, he's good, but people are already teching for that, so let's switch it up. Cause like Dizzard, who I played against,
Yeah.
and I think somebody else completely dropped Criminal Syndicate and they went to Avengers. Like they just switched it up halfway through.
Okay.
Which
They
was
let you change your whole list, or
after
there was
3
just
weeks.
enough?
After 3 weeks, you can change your list or make any changes
Okay.
you want. So,
Okay.
so I mean, it's nice. Like, and now because Malekith is legal, I think Winter Guard is all legal.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really want to play Winter Guard.
I want to see a bear on the table. That's pretty cool.
See, Winter Guard excites me, but after listening to a few things, they're basically like just a Swiss Army knife. Like they work well together, but they're not necessarily made to splash.
I don't know if I don't know. They have a little bit of everything, and it's not very clear what they're going to be best at.
Yeah.
It does definitely seem like they're interesting for a league scenario where
Mhm.
you have to fight a lot of different teams, and, like, you're not going to necessarily know what is coming.
Yes.
But to be like, hey, I'm going to go into this meta and bring this team, and I don't know if that's the team that beats it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I
Like
think
that-
they're going to
they're-
be fun. They're going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a couple sad points where they're like a little bit under tweaked. It feels
Mhm.
like, but I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it feels like they're an old style of character, like when AMG was still like figuring it out.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they were the least exciting of the new releases.
Mm-hmm. I think they were delayed too, just because world stuff.
Definitely, we all knew they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
hopefully they get like another. I don't know who's in Winter Guard. I really don't know the lore. But if there's like another one or two characters that they can add to it later on, maybe they'll have something a little bit more exciting.
Well, there's an interesting bit in Dark Star's description on the panel to play that they did. That Dark
Okay.
Star left the Winter Guard and teamed with Black Widow's like team of something.
Oh,
So
like Red Room?
something like that. So maybe like I don't know if Black Widow is maybe in Winter Guard, or I mean Omega Red I think should probably be in Winter Guard.
Well, I mean, is the MCU, does that follow
No.
okay. Because I was going to say, like, that whole family, right? Like, that's like like Yelena, and
Yeah.
that's not a thing. Okay.
No, not no. They did split off some
I don't
stuff. I
know.
mean, Yelena's a thing and all that, but the Red
Okay.
Room is a thing. But
Right.
the Dark Star thing, I'm not too familiar with the Winter Guard. All I
Yeah,
know,
fair enough.
yeah, all I know is Dark Star is going to find a way into A Force at some point
All right.
because I want to be able to teleport She-Hulk around.
Yeah, totally. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So you didn't get to record any games this week, right?
So, no, I'm going to try to record a game tomorrow.
Okay.
And all of the stuff for the video for this week is done, except for the commentary, which I'm looking to do also tomorrow when my daughter is at camp.
Nice.
That's my time to do stuff, is like when my daughter isn't home, that's when I paint, that's when I record, that's when I edit,
Yeah. That's
or
like
when she's sleeping.
when everybody here is like asleep or out. That's when I get to do stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, my kids are older, but still.
Yeah.
I don't want to like be downstairs in the basement hiding away from them sometimes.
I know that we do have another from panel to play that we wanted to talk about. Do we want to go into that?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Baron
pull him up.
Strucker. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited for him.
Yes.
I saw him and my whole being was like, this is going to be the guy that I play all the time. He is like, if I was like super into Criminal Syndicate and Cabal and like bad dudes,
Mhm.
like he emanates all the things that I want to do.
Yeah. No, he definitely is super fun.
He looks like he's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
He's going to be so much fun.
He is.
I don't. He's so cool. He's only a 3 cost. Like, you know, like he's got so many things going for him.
Mhm.
His card like is great.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to do the rundown, or you want to do the
No,
rundown?
you could do the rundown. So
I'm just so excited.
I don't know if we want to read every little bit, but we can at least touch on everything.
All right. So, first off, he's 3 cost, and that's amazing, right?
Mhm, yes.
3 cost leaders generally aren't great, or they're like niche, right?
I mean,
like,
who
so
do
you
we
have
have?
like Mystique,
Yeah, Storm.
you have Sin,
Storm.
Storm.
Who's actually very good.
I mean, they're not bad, right? Like, Sin
Mhm.
does something interesting, and so does Mystique, but they're just very specific. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, they're not universal. But Strucker here is kind of universal. I feel like he's a little bit more open-ended than some of the rest, although Storm is great in general. But so I'm not super excited that he only has 5 health, but it is what it is.
Three threat leader.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's why he's 3 threat, is because he has 5 health on front and back. And then the 4-3-3 is fine.
Yep.
I think that's great. Like,
Yeah.
if he was 3-3-3, it would have been fine. So giving him an extra physical was kind of nice. The Plasma Blast, his builder is 5 power, 3 range, and has a wild incinerate. I don't think there's a better situation
Yeah.
for a builder that you would want on like a 3 cost.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
it
that's
has
very good.
It has incinerate. Like,
Yeah.
that's so good. And then his spender is like a venom attack. 7 strength physical that heals him for every damage he deals.
Yep.
So he doesn't have a lot of health, but that definitely extends how tough he is.
Yes.
And just to jump to the bottom of the card, his healing factor 1 allows him to be able to play one of like my favorite cards is exceptional healing.
Yep.
So with that and the world is mine, it's like you can make him a little bit tankier than he's supposed to be.
Yes.
Right? He's already getting back a health every turn from the healing factor, but you can also play exceptional healing to like give him an extra help to try to maybe give him one extra round of like not dazing.
Yeah, like if you have somebody that just spikes into him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And especially if he hasn't activated yet, and
yeah.
you can just activate him second and then get the heal and keep him rolling. It's really nice. And then so his leadership is after an attack is made by an allied character once per turn. If the attack dealt damage, the allied character may use the leadership ability, choose one special condition the allied character has on them at the time. If the defending enemy character does not have that chosen special condition, it gains it, and the allied character, attacking character, loses it.
Yep.
And then once per turn, when an enemy character gains a special condition, the allied character that caused it may remove 1 damage from themselves.
Yes.
Which also means that he's potentially doing 2 healing around, because he can incinerate somebody, heal,
Yep.
and then healing factor heal.
Yep. And
Which is really nice.
and
if it was just the first part, it would have been fine.
yeah.
So building in this other thing where you heal for dealing status conditions is pretty good, because it's going to happen as long as you have a condition yourself.
Yeah, it's like a super version of Mordo's Soul Barb.
Yeah.
So you can dish out the condition, but then you heal it from yourself, and yeah, it's great. You get rid of it and you heal it yourself. So
Yeah, I think it's super good, and it really makes the opponent like cagey to attack you with some of their attacks that may like Domino, right? Like you like leaning into like being incinerating people and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
are you going to do that into a Strucker team? Maybe not.
yeah, you
Right, because then you're just going to eat the incinerate yourself, and they're going to be fine.
exactly.
And then you just spent 1 energy to give yourself incinerate, basically.
Yeah, you have to incinerate and then run away.
Yeah, and if they incinerate you, they get to heal. Like it seems like it's going to be so much fun.
And he's the second leader for Hydra because you have Red Skull, who's the first leader.
I know. I will say I was so excited by this that I kind of like moved away from Red Skull. I definitely will probably work with Red Skull also, or both of them at the same time, I think is still relevant.
Oh yeah, versatile strategy.
And so, all right, so the rest of his card, he has a superpower that you could pay to give all other characters within 3 of him poison, which seems to be great with if you splash in like any of the Inhumans, right? Because they're all immune to poison.
Yep.
So I was immediately going to Crystal, who puts a bunch of status conditions, is immune to poison, can trigger his effects, gets a reroll. So then, towards the bottom of his card, Strategic Genius, allies within 2 and himself can reroll 1 die in their attack and defense rolls, just like Baron Zemo.
Yes, and it does not stack with Baron Zemo.
Yeah, you correctly pointed it out that they're named the same thing, so you cannot stack them.
Yeah, because that would be just a ridiculous amount of rerolls. But backing up real quick,
Yeah.
it's funny that you went to Crystal for the poison condition thing. My mind instantly went to Omega Red.
Yeah, Omega Red seems like he finally found a home, right? Like
Yeah.
he feels very weird in Cabal. Not that he's bad. He's just like a very solo character.
Oh, absolutely. But
Like he doesn't work towards the game plan.
But the thing that made me think of Omega Red is his Death Factor ability, where you pay 2. This character and enemy characters within 2 of it with the poison condition suffer 2 damage in the order of your choosing.
Yeah, just straight up 2 damage.
Just murdering, just poison everywhere. Fantastic.
Which also, if you think about it, so that does 2 damage to Omega Red, right? But if Omega Red stands near somebody, he just poisons them, right?
Yep.
At the end of the turn.
Yep.
So that would still trigger the healing part of Strucker.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could technically like do the damage, run to somebody else, just stand next to them, give them poison, and at least heal yourself for 1.
Yep.
Which is cool. It seems like such a good thing. And then the only weird one on his card is Arrogance, which is a 1-cost superpower that Has a lot of words on it, but basically what it does is it allows you to count skulls in your attacks, and the defender gets to count skulls in their defense.
Yes.
So it adds another success to the die roll for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
However, the idea behind it, which I understand now a little bit better, is that usually you roll more offensive dice than the defender rolls defensive dice.
Yes.
So statistically speaking, you have a better chance of success than they do,
Mm-hmm.
even though you're both getting an additional success on the die. And also, because he has a reroll, that's another chance of you getting a success over the other person necessarily.
Yes. And thematically, it's just the villain monologuing, saying that he has this one, and then he gets outsmarted sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think that into some folks, obviously, you don't use it. So, like, if you're playing against web warriors, probably not going to use it.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting for the more offensive teams and things that don't get rerolls. I think it's going to be a sometimes.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. You're going to rely on. That's like the backbone of your strategy, because it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Absolutely not. Like my dice sometimes. Like yesterday when you were talking about it statistically rolling skulls and all that. Yeah. I think one of Rocket's attacks was he rolled 5 skulls and 1 shield.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I was upset.
Yeah, I get that.
But then on the flip side of that, you know his Hadron Enforcer, where you roll a wild and everybody takes 1 damage. I needed 1 wild to suck in Ancient One, and she would have been dead like a turn earlier. All crits and hits.
I mean, you do roll a lot of crits. I have captured that on camera multiple times, so
yeah, but
I
digitally,
I don't sympathize.
Still.
But yeah, that's Strucker. I think he's going to be a fun card. I think that Hydra has some really cool team tactics cards that they're going to be using, and I think that I'm really looking forward to list building around him.
Mm-hmm.
Since I don't play a lot of TTS, I'm going to try to play some matches and get them up here. I don't necessarily play with things that aren't out yet. I know that some people do, or like they proxy and stuff like that. That's not really my deal to try it out. I like to just have the model and then play with it.
Yeah, I like to play with what I own as well. This way, like you're practicing with what you own. Yeah,
so I will probably wait for him to come out. But once he's out, I'm just going to... Like, I'll spend a whole podcast just talking about how I'm going to list build like crazy for him and try different things. And
well, I think we're going to have to at some point, like, list build
like
for
Viper is good again.
Yes.
Like, like that's exciting.
Yeah. But we're going to have to list build and then just pit them against each other that week, I think, at some point.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Totally.
Even if I do like Shield and you do Hydra, or we do double Hydra, or we do something.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would like that. Yeah, all the new stuff.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure that out. But yes, I think he's going to be great. I think once Arnim Zola's full card comes out and we see, because he dishes out conditions, that's going to be fun. Now,
he dishes out a permanent addition to your card, a new ability.
Yes, but somebody was telling me there is a way to transfer stagger. But it's like 2 very specific instances that you can do it. I think one of them is with Juggernaut, because your first action has to be to remove the stagger. But you can do his push and not count it as an action to get close to somebody, then dish the stagger off.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I think that... Well, I think that it would remove... I think technically Juggernaut removes stagger when he moves.
Oh, that's right.
That's part of the ability.
But no, there was somebody else. I think it might have been somebody in Web Warriors then. But
I don't know offhand. We could totally look into it and put it on Discord or something. But definitely giving stagger would be crazy. That would be nuts. I don't know how that plays out.
Yeah,
I don't think it would be usable with this affiliation, just because it says the attacker. So you can't. I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
Actually, maybe if you got to attack out of turn, that would work. Like a team tactics card that allows you to
Winter
Deadly
Soldier.
Duo or something like that,
Or Winter Soldier.
or Winter Soldier. Yeah, I think if you get to attack out of turn, you aren't staggered.
Wow.
So if you got your back and you have stagger and you have Strucker, then you are staggering somebody on that attack.
That's dirty. You're already shooting them and then you're staggering them.
Yeah,
Out of
yeah,
turn.
yeah. If there was, yeah, yeah,
Well,
that is pretty gross.
guess who's going in my list? Winter
Yeah,
Soldier. Always an MVP.
yeah. He definitely. I mean, he needs something because he's too good, right? He's in a lot of lists.
Yeah,
He fits in very well.
he very much does. He's fit well in my Guardians. I see, and that kind of goes into our next thing where we were talking about characters that our favorite characters that we try to shovel in wherever we can.
Sure.
So you can go first. Who is yours?
So I think it's more of a pet card than maybe something that goes into everything.
Okay.
But I really enjoy Ronan,
Okay.
the Accuser. I have his card up here. He's super good because he does the same thing that Thor does, which is he throws an attack and does shock, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he costs one less than Thor, and the attack has a push on it, right? So
Yes.
Thor's doesn't. He just throws his hammer. It does a shock. It does some damage.
Mm-hmm.
I also wait. I need to pull up Thor, but I think his hammer throw isn't even energy, is it?
Hammer throw is not. I think. Let me see. I'm looking too.
Yeah, it's not. It's physical.
Yeah.
So that's bad for Thor. I don't know why that wasn't energy because he's like, it's literally lightning.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Ronan gets to do that with energy, which is obviously the best energy type in the game. And so he throws it from 4 away.
Mm-hmm.
So the interesting thing about Ronan is that you can kind of play him kind of like a distance bruiser.
Yeah.
Like you could play this kind of, he's fun to play in like the middle ground where you don't necessarily have to be on top of somebody. Although when you do, his builder has a wild throw on it up to size 4, which is pretty much everything.
True.
And then his spender does stun and stagger and can explode to people around him.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems like I would never throw the gem on him because he can carry power, but
True.
he doesn't spend it very well. You can judge somebody, but you can only judge one person. So you aren't using judgment super often.
True.
And his builders are already good enough. So I've been pushing him more into my defenders list because in my head, throwing from 4 away, shock and hex really stunts like a big attackers, like like Malekith, right? But Malekith is immune to hex. I know it sucks, but
still gets a stagger though.
On his spender,
Yeah,
which is you have to be within 2.
Yeah.
So, but the push is 4 or less. So technically, like he could wild push, shock, and hex somebody if he's in defenders, which seems really good for like I don't even care if it does damage. If it's just hitting all those status effects and movement, like it's good enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, it has to deal 1 damage to do the effects, but do the 1 damage, get the shock and the hex, and She-Hulk is not hitting as hard, or Hulk isn't hitting as hard, or you know what I mean? Because we've played those games where you're not exploding those crits that you roll very well.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference.
It does.
So, and the whole thing with him being able to get that extra attack when he dazes or KOs sometimes catches people off guard because I as the Ronin player, I get to build that energy. So I almost always have, because he has 6 health, I almost always have enough to do his spender Kree Justice. So the attack back is going to be a stun stagger,
True.
and it's it's good.
Doesn't he have that thing too? Like if he's about to daze or KO.
That's what I mean. You
Oh
get to
yeah,
move
yeah,
him
yeah.
and attack,
Yeah, that's cool.
so he gets to attack out of turn. I mean, if you spike and hit him real hard, he's going to stun stagger you, and you can't get another attack or another action. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
um,
I have him. I have not used him yet. I haven't had a chance to put him on the table yet.
I think it's just because he's a bad guy. I think sometimes bad guys get overlooked because they're not as like exciting as like the heroes are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what happened in his box is that, if you're playing Guardians of the Galaxy, you're like super excited to get Drax, less excited to get Ronan because he's like not a good guy, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not enjoying him in the movie. You're not
True.
like rooting for him. But if you take a look at his card, he's got a good card.
True. I think that's part of my thing too. Like you tend to play a lot of the bad guys. I always tend to play a lot of the good guys.
Yeah.
Like
I see that's the thing too, is that if you find it interesting that people don't mix as much
Yeah.
good guys and bad guys. I think that definitely happens. There's like in the back of your brain, you're like, this doesn't feel right.
I got into that. Like when I first started this game, I'm like, I know I can mix and match. However, I can't.
Yeah.
But the first character I actually started doing that with was actually I put Mordo in my Web Warriors just to try him
Okay.
out, and he actually worked out really well there. But Winter Soldier is probably my pick. I mean, I know he's the obvious pick, but you have played against Winter Soldier many, many times.
I've played against him. I've played with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's good in general.
Yeah,
he's good.
He got better. A lot of people were sleeping on him at first because I know his first version before the rework came out, he just was not that good.
Yeah.
But that was before I was playing. He's been good ever since I got him.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Yeah, so I didn't have the.
Yeah, you came right after the balance updates, so it was
Yep.
just like all the core guys were pretty good. The only person that's still sucking is Spider-Man.
Yeah, Core Spider-Man. I haven't used him either, but like, I always toy about putting him in my Web Warriors, but I just like using Amazing Spider-Man more.
Yeah, he's just way better.
Yeah. But yeah, with Winter Soldier, it's just, he has the assault rifle, which most of the time you're going to get the rapid fire. Like,
Right.
There's been very few times where I don't get the rapid fire with Winter Soldier.
The funny thing is, too, I felt like when you get hit, like, status on an attack versus wild, I don't know why it's statistically the same number of hits and wilds,
Yeah.
but it does feel like you get more hits than wilds.
Absolutely. Absolutely does. And he does have bleed on his rifle as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
So, then with the Red Fury is an attack that I want to use more than I do, but usually I just tend to keep him back and he just starts shooting, especially if he has like a hammer or two. Then it's just like,
Well,
why,
I think
why even get close?
absolutely. I think that Red Fury is in the design just for the person that does come up and try to attack him.
Yeah.
So at least he can push them away and then repeatedly shoot them
Yes.
a million times.
Just start blasting.
Yeah.
I really did find out last night the beauty of Hydra tactics. Just because
Yeah, I haven't used it that much, and
Oh,
you mentioned that you were using it a
so
lot.
good. Yeah, because the way I had my people lined up, he was just able to just jump from one to the other. Because he had more than enough power. He had like 10 power on him. So he was able to jump two people pretty much, grab the extract, snake back, and then run away medium. So he spent, what, 2, 4, 6, I think 6 or 8 power getting there
Yeah.
and back, and then medium to run away.
Smoke him if you got him, right?
Exactly. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, Got Your Back.
Yeah, got your back is crazy good, which is why it was very exciting that Nick Fury Sr. has it on his card.
Yes, but now I wonder if you can't use 2 instances of Strategic Genius, can you not use 2 instances of Got Your Back?
I don't know if they're gonna necessarily say that you can't, right? Because it's you're spending energy on it, so it's
Yeah.
not like a free thing that's happening.
I might have to ask that in the rules forum.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something that needs to be clarified. But you're right. It's possible that they say you can't use both.
Yeah, because
There's
otherwise there's just so many attacks out of activation, just guns everywhere.
that's exactly what that would be.
And if this guy doesn't kill you, that one's gonna kill you.
Yeah, really. It's like I'm gonna play Hulk and everybody that has got your back or whatever.
Yes. Oh my god, that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Rogue Agent, which really did come in handy yesterday because I did not have the 51%. Because
Yeah, I think that's why he does fit into a lot of.
Yeah.
That's what nails it in for him. And the interesting thing too is that not as many people play Taskmaster,
No.
and Taskmaster isn't terrible.
No.
I think that there's a world where he's pretty good.
Somebody was talking about this today, and they think the reason Taskmaster isn't more popular is because he's the only guy that throws a shield that doesn't get power.
Yeah, that he has a hard time building energy.
Yeah.
Definitely. But his spender is only 2.
True.
And he has a lot of things to spend on. So I think that's his problem, is that he doesn't build it. I think that his shield throw, if it did give him the 1 energy, that might be a game changer for him.
Yeah. Like, I don't own him yet. He's, like, Punisher Taskmaster box is, like, low on my list. It was a little higher because I wanted to get extreme conditioning, but now extreme conditioning is rotated out.
Yeah, I think that the box was like rule of cool for me, right? Like I like both of those characters, so I kind of like bought it, and then I'm like, all right, they don't really fit into a lot of things that I'm trying to do. He is Taskmaster, at least is Criminal Syndicate, so he fits into that spot pretty well.
True.
Punisher not so much. I have to build a list with Punisher because I feel bad. I haven't played him in a while.
I've only played against one guy in Red Seal that used Punisher against me once.
Yeah, and his Spider Foes, right?
Yeah.
He's good in Spider Foes. He is. Any place that gets real, so I think that he'd be good too in Shadowland Daredevil.
Yes.
Because the grunts, right? Like he would get the Punisher token and all that jazz.
True. And the other reason I love using Winter Soldier is because he usually has such a stockpile of power on him that he is a very good candidate to play Follow Me.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think Follow Me, once they do another rotation like next year, I think Follow Me is going to go on the restricted list.
Why?
It's now that they rotated out a bunch of cards and brought in all these other cards, everybody's finding the value of Follow Me. I've been using Follow Me since I started in this game because I'm like, this is a great card, and nobody.
Yeah, I think it's fair though, because there's some Team Tactics cards that are Follow Me but cheaper, but for specific characters, aren't there?
Yeah, like for instance, the Air Force, which I have in my Guardians list. But if you're a maniac like me, you find ways to blow all your Team Tactics cards in one round and try to just eliminate the other player. So if you do the Air Force into Follow Me, and let's just say you do that you do the Air Force. How did I do it the one time? I gotta think. I think I did Deadly Duo into Follow Me for War Machine, into the Air Force for Captain Marvel, and then threw a fan club in there for Miss Marvel just so she could do something too.
Yeah.
I didn't win that game, but it was fun for that round.
So I think that Follow Me is okay. I think the thing that makes it very good is the priority flipping, especially if you lose priority and the teams have parity on the number of characters. So you're going to go like 2 or 3 rounds unless like you lose a guy or whatever, like until you're going to get priority.
Yeah.
So Follow Me does a good thing of like, I'm going to get priority next turn, especially if you don't use it right away. You kind of sandbag it a little bit and you're like, all right, at the end of the first turn, like I have enough energy. I'm going to use Follow Me into my last person. And then now I have priority going into the next round. Like, that's great.
I don't think
it's ban worthy. I don't think we're there.
No, I don't think ban, but I think I could definitely see an argument for being on the restricted list.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Definitely, I'll give you that. Definitely on the restricted list.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get outright banned, but I do definitely see a restricted tag coming on that in the future.
Yeah, I could too. Yeah, that seems totally reasonable.
I mean, if they put Sacrifice on the restricted list,
Yeah, I was surprised to see Sacrifice on the list too.
yeah. But yeah, I think that's actually gonna. Unless you have something else to talk about, I think that might actually do it for this week.
I just like seeing your face, so I mean, if you want to talk about anything else, like I'm here.
I mean, you want to touch on the Comic Con stuff real quick? It's Marvel adjacent.
Oh, the like announcements of Phase
5 and 6
or whatever.
Yes, I have
I
theories.
Here's the thing. I'm like a Marvel fan that is not well versed in comic book lore.
Okay.
So you might be better at discussing what's coming up because there's like a whole bunch of things that I'm still not sure what that means. Like I haven't done the research on
Well,
it.
what do you have questions on?
There was a show or a movie that I had no idea what it's going to be about. So without pulling it, I would have to pull up the stuff. So if you want,
Yeah,
I can
think
pull
I
up
got.
the stuff.
I think I got. Yeah, you can pull
Or
up
you
stuff.
wanna
But I
tell
think
me
I
what
might
it
have
is?
a picture. Well, I know Secret Invasion is one of them, right?
Yeah, so that has to do with the scrolls, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Yes.
I know the scrolls thanks to Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
That's fine.
That's where I learned out about scrolls.
That's fine. No, they're huge Fantastic Four villains.
Yeah, so does that mean Fantastic Four?
Well, Fantastic Four is going to be the first movie of Phase 6.
Okay.
But
Oh, that we already know.
yes, and the big flip was that in Captain Marvel, the Skrulls were actually the good guys. And the
Right.
Kree were the bad guys, which was a big flip from the comics.
Okay.
So with Secret Invasion, there is a sect of Skrulls that have now infiltrated high positions of power on Earth that are attempting to take over Earth.
Right.
And one of the things they said is heroes that you have come to know and love over the last few years may actually be a Skrull.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like that. I dig that.
Yeah. I'm super hyped for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I know we're still a ways away from that. I think Blade is going to be good.
I have a question about Fantastic Four.
Sure.
So, I don't remember what year the first of the more modern Fantastic Fours came out.
Like early 2000s.
It was like Jessica Alba was
Yeah,
in it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I enjoyed that one. Did you?
I liked the original one. Okay. The second one I have strong issues with.
Yeah, I don't remember the second one that well, so it must not have been good. But I remember the first one having Doom in it,
Yeah.
and that actor was like a good actor.
Yeah, he was on Nip Tuck. I forget what his name was. But no, I enjoyed that movie. I thought the first Fantastic Four movie was good. I did not like the second one because they made Galactus a giant purple cloud, and that made me very upset. I want to see giant world eater Galactus.
Yeah. Well, they have a tendency to do that sometimes in movies where they're just like oh, we have like some artistic,
Yeah. I mean,
range to like change things, and I get how some people that have like comic books like they don't like that stuff as much.
well, even like the first X-Men movie, they make the joke like, "What do you want us to wear? Yellow spandex?" Which, yes, because in First Class they were able to do it, and they're going to be in comic book accurate costumes when they finally get around to doing the X-Men movies in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I think that a lot of the early superhero stuff did do enough good than bad to then lead us to where we are now, right? So a lot of people like slam the Raimi Spider-Man movies, but I enjoyed them, even the third one.
The third one is
the silly emo part was silly, weird emo part, but I enjoyed it. It had like Sandman, Venom, and
oh yeah,
it was interesting.
The granddaddy of them all though was Blade. That was really what started the modern superhero movie. And
I didn't even know Blade was a Marvel character.
Yeah,
at the time,
a lot of people
it was
didn't.
just like I don't know, it's a fun vampire movie. Blade.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize Blade was a Marvel character.
Yeah,
but I had a bootleg copy of Blade that was so dark you could not see anything unless the vampires were like gnashing their teeth. I bought it off of the Atlantic City Boardwalk, and it was just so dark. On VHS.
That totally checks out. I've definitely watched some bootleg movies that were like, I can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
Or that episode of Game of Thrones, right? That
Yes.
It's like, was my TV working right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But then there was one the think people were surprised that they didn't announce any X-Men stuff at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I did hear that criticism.
And a report came out as to why.
Okay.
Apparently, a lot of the Fox actors are still under contract until 2025, so they cannot recast the roles. If they make an X-Men movie now, they have to use the same actors, which those guys are getting older. So you don't want like a 50-year-old, like, as much as I love Hugh Jackman, he's getting older. And he already said he doesn't want to have to, it's a lot on his body to get that shredded to be Wolverine.
Yeah, no, he definitely gets a pass for retiring because he's the he's the best. He might be the best superhero character.
Yeah,
like that, like actor to play a superhero. Like, well,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like whatever he wants to do is fine with me. Like I don't hold any qualms or any ill will. He put in his time. And he did a great job, and he's the reason why we're at where we're at.
And Logan, fantastic movie, so good.
Again, dumb brain Mike, like lizard brain Mike, loves pretty much all of it. Mm-hmm. So
me too.
I enjoyed all the solo X-Men movies, including the one where he goes to Japan for some reason.
Yeah, that one was all right. But
again, I get it's not the best. It was okay.
Yeah.
Or, the Ryan Reynolds no mouth Deadpool. That one bothered me. Actually,
no. I love that they made a joke about that in the first Deadpool movie.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. But that's the reason Deadpool and Professor X are getting a pass as far as this whole contract thing goes, because they use the same actors.
Yeah.
So they already said Deadpool 3 going to be R-rated. If you don't know already, which it should be, Deadpool 2, and Logan are now on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Which parents are freaking out because, like, oh my god, R-rated content. Like, people are writing letters to Disney because they're upset. Meanwhile, in other countries, those movies have been on there for close to a year.
Yeah, I mean, if you just not put it on, just watch what your kids are watching. It's not that hard.
Exactly. And Disney even said, check your parental controls.
Yeah, they have it on all those apps, so you can set whatever parental controls you want.
Yeah, like, I remember going to see Watchmen in theaters. And, like, this grandparent couple took their little grandson to go see it, thinking it was a regular superhero movie, and they're sitting, like, 2 rows behind me. I turned around, I'm like, listen, this movie's going to get real tense for this kid. You might want to rethink, oh, no, it's superheroes, it's fine. I'm like, okay. And they wound up walking out when, like, 3 Dr. Manhattans walked out and all just naked. I'm like...
Yeah, that definitely is a movie that... Good on you to tell them that they shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, same thing with Deadpool. There were so many kids in the theater when I went to go see Deadpool. I'm like,
yeah, it's
a bad time. My kids, though, they were like 14. I'm like, yeah, we're going to see Deadpool. My kids love all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think their first R-rated movie that they got to watch was Demolition Man.
Nice.
Because, of course, that movie's so good.
I haven't watched that in forever.
I absolutely love that movie.
I think I watched that movie once a very long time ago.
You know what it is? I always say that gives credit for the birth of, like, the modern action movie with, like, the quippy villain.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, like, a lot of... that's a framework for a lot of superhero movies, too. Because you do like the villain.
Yeah.
Like, Loki? I mean, look at him. He's so good now, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So what else was interesting from the announcements?
Well, Daredevil is going to have the longest Disney Plus show at 18 episodes.
Yeah, that's super cool. And somebody was saying something to the effect of whatever they named the show is like a storyline for Daredevil.
Yes, however, they kind of already did that storyline in the Netflix show. So I think they're just referencing Born Again as to, hey, look, we brought the show back.
Yeah.
And they said it's going to be same character, slightly different, because different universe. They're treating the Netflix shows like another universe, which, fine. I'm fine with that, because...
Okay.
Yeah, because Kingpin, I mean, you saw Hawkeye, right?
Yes.
All right, so Kingpin came back in Hawkeye. It's not a surprise. Right. Everybody knows, so...
Right.
Yeah. And then he's going to be in Echo, so is Daredevil, and they confirmed Daredevil's going to be in She-Hulk.
And Echo is that girl that was in Hawkeye.
Yes.
So, is that a movie or a show?
It's a show.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was all excited because Daredevil's in his yellow and red costume now.
Cool.
Yeah, they show it at the end of the She-Hulk trailer, like real quick.
All right.
She-Hulk, I'm super excited for. I think that
Yeah,
show's going to be
She-Hulk seems
hilarious.
cool. I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a rumor that has not been confirmed because my whole thing is if Fantastic Four isn't coming out until 2025, 26, whatever they said it's going to be, that means they're going to start introducing them throughout the next couple years, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So there is.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Since you're well versed in this, so since Miss Marvel is a mutant, does that mean other Inhumans that they want to include will be mutants and it will be part of X-Men, or is this like what do you think that like
Okay.
we're gonna spoil shit that has nothing to do with Marvel Crisis Protocol. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Okay.
So Miss Marvel, having the 90s
Oh my God,
X-Men theme play.
Yeah. That was great.
After they said she was a mutant, which is obviously that Inhumans are technically mutants, but like with alien DNA, right? Like that's the idea.
Kind of. Inhumans are responsible because of the Terrigen mists. That's their whole thing. So that's why.
But isn't that their powers were unlocked by the Terrigen mist?
Exactly.
So it's because they have like this alien DNA.
Yes. So the whole thing in Miss Marvel is apparently her original comic storyline. When they were going to debut her, they wanted her to debut as a mutant, and Marvel said no, we're going to change it because we're going to make her Inhuman. So they kind of just cycled it around and just flipped the story and made her a mutant in the show.
So that doesn't really change much.
No. Her powers are wildly different from the cartoons to the show.
I grasp that. I don't really care. I know that people do. Yeah. I don't.
At first, I was like, but after watching the show, honestly, it's probably my favorite Disney Plus show there's been. Like, the show was just fun. My wife absolutely loved the show. And with the ending, she wants to know what happened to Kamala. I'm like, we'll find out in the Marvels in a couple months.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. But anyway, going back.
I looked it up. The Marvels is going to be Brie Larson, Miss Marvel, and the girl from WandaVision.
Yeah, who's Photon, basically. That's who she is in the comics.
So what powers does she have? What does she do?
She has cosmic powers like Miss Marvel.
Okay.
And she got that in WandaVision. She got it from going through the barrier too many times.
Yeah.
But going back to She-Hulk real quick, there's a rumor that at some point in the show, she's going to be contacted by another lawyer who's speaking on behalf of their client who does not want to be seen. I don't know how true. This is one of those weird things that found like Reddit 4chan. It sounds like fan fiction, but it could be plausible because they said it was going to be 9 episodes, and they confirmed it's going to be 9 episodes, so it's possible.
So it's Daredevil is what you're saying?
No, they're saying that at some point, like episode 8-ish, you're going to find out it's actually the Thing.
Oh, why? He's a lawyer too?
No, like he's the client of this other lawyer that's communicating to She-Hulk. And the voice is supposed to be Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, interesting.
So I'd be cool. That's fine because the original rumor was Seth Rogen, which I'd be fine with Seth Rogen too. But I think Marshall will be a little bit better if this is true. I don't know if this is true.
I mean, again, I don't know much about the comic books, but Thing is like kind of a smart-ass character, right?
Exactly.
Like, so you want somebody that's got like a smart-ass attitude.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be fine. But they're going to definitely have to introduce the characters throughout the next couple of years, especially since they're moving towards Kang Dynasty, which Kang is a huge Fantastic Four villain.
Okay.
And then Secret Wars, which I have theories. The Avengers logo they showed is in black and white. So, could this be the proper introduction of Peter Parker Venom? Or are we going to get Miles?
Okay.
And they also confirmed that Spider-Man...
I feel like it would be a good time to be Miles.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like
absolutely. It's Miles' time because they confirmed that Spider-Man is going to be street level with Daredevil and they will be teaming up in the future.
That's sweet. I like that.
Yeah. So, a lot of good things are happening with Comic-Con.
Yeah.
In September is D23, which is Disney's big show. So they're
Oh,
gonna have
interesting.
they're gonna have a bunch more stuff that they didn't announce because there's a lot of holes on that Phase 6 map.
Okay.
They only showed Fantastic Four and then the two Avengers movies, but there's
Mhm.
like 6 other spots. But and real quick, we'd be remiss if we did not mention the Wakanda Forever trailer.
Oh yeah, that looks so good.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like
It looks incredible.
emotions.
Yeah.
And then Namor looks badass. My kids got confused for a second. They're like, "Why are these people blue? Is this Avatar?" I'm like, "No, those are the Atlanteans because they're all riding on whales under the water." I'm like, "It looks really, really cool."
It looks really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. Excited for Thunderbolts that they announced. Which
Yeah. My Hulk may become relevant soon.
maybe, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I know in the comics, Thunderbolts, Norman Osborn was Iron Patriot, and nobody knew, and there's no Norman Osborn technically in the MCU right now. He was the leader of the Thunderbolts, and nobody knew it was Norman Osborn.
Right.
So, see what happens. But yeah, I'm very excited for that because as long as I get to see Yelena again, I'm happy. I love Yelena; she's great.
Yeah. She's a good actress, good character.
Yes, like in the book I wrote, which I don't think I've ever mentioned on here. I did write about
Plug your book.
Yeah, Jake Howard Multiverse 101. As I was writing the book, I had just seen Fighting with My Family, which was Florence Pugh as Paige from WWE. And like she's who I picture as like the female lead in the book. Like she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, side story. We can talk about that another day because it is getting late.
Definitely. Plug that book stuff too, wherever you want.
Yeah. I'll put it in the link to the Discord. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah. So we'll have a video coming out this week.
Yes.
Yes. I'm probably going to put up my TTS match within the next couple days. I will say there isn't a ton of talking in it because the person I played was from Peru, so he wasn't talking as much. I was trying to be quippy, whatever, it's fine. But it is like one of our long form plays, because we are going to be looking at doing some long form games on the channel. So
Yeah, we want to try some different things out, and it might end up that TTS is the best way for us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned last time, it's hard to get audio from the store. Depending on
Some things.
if things change where we record, maybe we're talking about different things. If we could get a place or one of our places, or,
Yeah, like I have plenty of room.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that's gonna wrap it up.
Either way, we're gonna evolve,
Yes.
get better, get more stuff. Try to
Keep
make
it going.
this thing something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe get a different background because my blue wall is lacking.
Yeah, right. I'll get a green screen and I could be like.
You don't even need to. In
know.
Discord, you can just hit a button and change your whole background. I found that out just before we started recording.
Oh, I'm gonna have to play with that. I also have, not for this time, but I definitely have programs on my computer that could make me be completely different. Like
Nice.
I could be like a dragon or a sandwich or or something.
That's for
like
the
crazy.
Halloween episode.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. So that'll do it for us this week. I'll put all our links in the descriptions. And I'm Will.
I'm Mike.
And thanks for joining.